Hello there, guys. So yesterday, when I was sort of feeling a bit okay and moving forward, it was after literally Amber had sent me the article about Megan being diagnosed as hypermobility and the complications with birth. I was like, yes, that's it. It's it. It's done. It's done. The evidence is done. All I have to do is submit Megan's case into my case to open my case up. That, hang on a minute, would social literally now being, I mean, they're not in England, they're in Canada, but if even the Canadian social services, would the multi-agency go in now going, hey, well, we know you're here without any family, we want to now know how you're going to look after your son while you're with the mum and baby, who's going to be with the son. And now obviously there's going to be complications. Is the mother going to have problems with her hips and her back when she's breastfeeding? Should she breastfeed? So should the multi-agencies now come in and go, hey, Harry and Meg, we've got these services for you. It's called, well, they would have to be EDS UK, but now it's going to have to fragment and now change to hypermobility, or they're going to separate EDS and hypermobility, being that the hypermobility and EDS clinic in Hartley Street is now the arthritis and hypermobility clinic. And it's like, what? This is crazy. So now they can say, oh, well, EDS is easy to claim to have, and actually you've got hypermobility. Well, no, I have hypermobility EDS. It's separate. So anyway, I Googled North Wales Adoption Agency, and I made the phone call pressing the button. The Lord decided for me to ring Wrexham Registry. So I had quite an interesting conversation with the woman there, and I asked her about my children, and I explained. I said, have you seen in the papers today about Megan with hypermobility? I said, yes. Right, I said, this is what I have. My children were taken, blah, 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 blah. I said, I have my children's birth certificates. I said, so can I go in and access my children's adoption certificates? And she said that they're actually in two separate departments, that the adoption certificate overrides the birth certificate, but actually the adoption certificates are held in the adoption registry and the birth certificates are still held in the birth registry. So I have yet to contact Adoption Wrexham, which I've got the number here to contact them today. Yes, darling. Oh, okay. Shiloh has now officially taken over my laptop, which is a complete and utter pain because it doesn't work properly and I can't do what I need to do on it. I've just put a bid in for one for £100 that I'm hoping to get down to 80 because I have only got about £100 left. But without getting this document done, and I mean immediately now with everything that's coming around me, just hello to the people that are saying hello to me, but choose to remember, I'm not here to be looked at, I'm not here to be dated, I'm not here for people to speak to me in any way that is derogatory. I'm here on a mission to understand exactly why my children were taken, why we're being failed medically, and to bring this attention to the courts to get the funding that I need for an upright MRI scan and to be believed for a cranial instability, and to bring all the actions against the court for the unlawful removal of my children. But yes, hello, hey, hi. I have children, I have family. I'm here for families that have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, families that are on spectrum, families that understand that what is going on in the world right now. I'm here for people to understand that we are going under the United Nations, and this is all part of the one world government that you all think is a conspiracy. And in 2010 I said to look in the mirror and take the masks off, and if you didn't like what you see, to change it, and called for Step Up Britain to set a new standard for people like us to have the adequate care and not to be forced into the system in ways that are not conducive with our lifestyles, and that we are free beings. We have the right to live free. We're not to be under control of anybody. We are to be enabled and empowered to thrive. We have a right to medical care. It is something that the Lord has created. We have the right to somebody to come and speak to and talk to if we're not understanding what directions to take. That's meant to be our parents. That's meant to be our family. That's meant to be our peers and our support group. But we have a system that will support people who have fallen below the threshold, but they are not raising them back up. In fact, what they're doing is they're putting plaster over an already gangrene situation, just like they do with corruption, just like they do with war, just like they do with the truth. And it is really time for people to actually realise that we are all going through things. It's the battlefield of the mind is completely normal. We all go through days where we don't believe in ourselves, and we all go through days where we believe in ourselves, and we have people who believe in us, and then some days we don't. And it doesn't have to be tiered into mental health, into depression, into all of these categories that the DSM-5 that a paedophile created. We don't need to be medicated by pharmaceutical countries. Yes, we need treatment. Yes, there has to be preventatives. But you can't vaccinate yourself from cancer. Yes, we have DNA. We already know those DNA structures. We have science. We have history. We have a future, and we have progression, and we do have evolution. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether we are north, east, south, or west of the world, whether we're on Earth or whether we're on any other planet that lives in this universe that is greater than planet Earth. Just like that minuscule of Great Britain, the Western world that dominates, you know, Great Britain that dominates pretty much most of the world, not all of it. And at the end of the day, the kingdom was divided by 7 brothers, and people have been at war for no. Is there no infection status in your country? Yes, of course there is, but please, please, please. I can't speak for other cultures because I'm a Westerner. I can't say how your country in India. What I do know is I've got over here in the media in England, they are telling people that over in India that or in other countries that this is happening, and people are dropping all over the streets, just like they said with China. But then I'll speak to somebody who lives in the country who will go on live with me and go, look, I'm down at the market, everything's fine. In 2010, well, back before, in 2021, and then obviously we're going into hundreds of years, because say like the G summit that's happening on the G7 summit that's happening here in June. Wow, cool, you look funky. He's got his goggles on. These people have been following paperwork and judiciary and things for years and years and years, back to, you know, times when people fought on horses, and knights and kings went out into fields and fought in battles, and pirates and things. Now we do it in the middle of the sea, and we perimeter off people, and we don't fear the general population going, oh, we're fighting them and we're fighting these. You know, the Bible is the Bible, but there will always be other stories of Jesus. You know, Jesus was a Jew who lived in Israel. Well, as you know, the story of Bethlehem and Jerusalem and all of this sort of stuff. Hence why a lot of us dance the Jerusalem. The summit, as Amber's just posted, is the 11th to the 13th of June. And the summit is in Carbs Bay in Cornwall, okay? So basically all of the world's people to do with this that are in agreement will all be in Cornwall. Cornwall will be closed down. They'll have that meeting there. It starts to already start closing down as from today, this weekend. Then the main structures. So as I showed you how it built here, they built it monthly, then weeks in, and then the gates go up, and then the kickboards go in, and then the roads get shut down. Yes, darling? My kids have got tan lines like mental from yesterday.
I want.
What do you want?
Yogurt.
Yeah, yogurt.
Yes.
Elijah, do you want a yogurt? You're dressed. Do you want a yogurt? Do you want a yogurt, yes or no? I know you want a yogurt. What was I saying? So yeah, so basically, you know, the United Nations was formed, what, 60 years ago? 60? I'm sure it's 60 years ago. And the United Nations has to come together. I don't think you've got sweeties up there, darling. No, they're not up there. Daddy ate your sweeties, I'm afraid. He owes you some sweeties. Daddy is eating them. You got some ham up there? If you want some ham?
Where?
Right, go and eat the yogurt, and then I'll sort out.
Where, Mum?
I'll sort something out for you. We're going out for a packed lunch anyway. So basically, the people who came together and went, wow, hang on a minute, we want peace in this world. And they come together, and then they've got to get every country to agree to it.
Have a biscuit.
But every country is different. Some have kings, some have queens, some have prime ministers, some have...
Can I choose one?
Yeah, you need to pull it open for me. That's it. Some are governed by complete guerrilla control. Some are controlled by witch doctors. Some are tribes. You know, it's very difficult to turn around and say, well, this is one world and this is how we're all going to be, when everybody is born individually. Everybody is different. Not everybody born into their families wants to be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Elijah the prophet, who was the... Oh shit, is that my door? Here we go, I've got bailiffs already. Lucky I'm on live if I haven't. No, I don't fucking open my door just in case it is, mate. Never, ever, ever, ever let a bailiff in to do a walk-in possession. It is only once they have done a walk-in possession that they are allowed to remove goods from your home. If you do not allow them into their home, they cannot do a walk-in possession. And it's not really a court, it's a business centre. So the next one on my fight, by the way, is this one. The water board. Can't find my letter. We should not be paying extra money towards our water. This is what tithing is all about. When you tithe to your kingdom, the 10% of what you are meant to be doing, then that should be governing all the basic natural materials. So your water, how we have energy, and that's been a fight for years. You know, big companies have never, ever, ever wanted for electric cars. Big companies have never wanted for free fuel because they make too much money out of it. And we have to say, fuck you, yeah? Fracking, you know, we managed to, as a united front of people standing up for fracking, that was something that it was able to be stopped for the moment. But at the end of the day, we've had oil being funneled out of our planet for years and years and years. You've got so many things with Davos, and obviously the festivals of ideas where the Great Reset started. So in 2010, they said on the back of it, the best way this can be done is through a Great Reset. As you know, I'd said, put in the media, we're in a war, get everybody locked down in their houses, get everyone start from scratch. So basically, go onto Google, put in the Great Reset, it will bring up the royal families off the back of COVID, we're going into the Great Reset. Put in the Great Reset, Aspen Institute, it will bring you up the festivals of ideas where the book, The Great Reset, was created. Then put in the World Economic Forum, which is running all of this. So the World Economic Forum is who you are taking direction from right now, and the WHO, the World Health Organization, which is just being broken down and sold off in the divorce with Bill Gates and everything, and takes the new leadership. Every leader that we have should be inspiring a nation. It should be coming to our door and saying, we are here. You know, how do you want to live as a family? You know, do you want your own land? Are you farmers? Do you travel? Are you explorers? You know, who are you? What do you do? And, you know, how we're going to do the street lights, how we're going to clear up all of the recycling and the rubbish, and how we as individuals are all going to be part of this, because we are all on this planet together. It doesn't matter whether we are Western, Eastern, from North, South, whether we're Korean, whether we're from South Korea, whether we're... I don't even know whether to say the word Palestine, because I don't understand why Jews say there is no Palestine, and I don't want to be saying it's part of some form of persecution, or because of my own what would be the word, incompetence in that area. I wouldn't be the person to be able to say this way is right or that way is right for other cultures and things, because say China, you take a Bible over to China, they'll burn the churches down, you know. And But what I will say is I couldn't do any of this in my own strength, and the only way that I come out of this is through Christ who strengthens me. And my mum will say that that's a false belief. That's just me diffusing. That's what you want. You want some eggs? Do you want some scrambled egg?
Eat it cold.
No. What, the ham? You want some cold ham?
Yeah, cold ham, yeah. I want to eat cold ham. Yeah.
You know, are we veggie, are we not veggie? I like cold ham with Branston pickle. The Bible says no pork, no bacon. The Bible's very clear about not eating certain products. We were given the lands, we were given grains, we were given cattle, and we were given a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful world. And I would say that 2021 is probably the most corruptest, debauchery world that we've ever had. You know, there is no marriage so much anymore. Family has been completely broken down. We've been so divided. We've been so separated from ourselves, from our Creator, from our true being, that we are spiritual beings. We've lost that finite about ourselves. We've lost that inner being that we are. And we have been born into a slave mentality. We were born into slavery. We were born to go into the birth certificate, straight into the education system. We've been groomed for so many years that it's so difficult for people to think for themselves. It's like, even I struggle. I've got sound going on in there. When I get up in the morning, no sound. I don't want TVs on. I don't want music on. Me and Dean are really struggling with this, because Dean struggles with us not being together, and me and him struggle not being together. So he goes straight into his phone and I go into mine. And it's like, no. When you wake up in the morning and you get in nature, you've got your own thinking and your own ideas and your own creativity and your own inspired action. But when you're waking up to bombardmentness and you've got a teacher sat in front and going, you're going to learn this and you're going to learn that and you're going to do this, and you're like, whoa. It's like, man, like, you know, my children wanted to paint the other day and they were inspired to paint. So, you know, we got paints and they paint. And in a bit, once I put all this away and it's all back to normal and it's quite straight and we can function in a minute, we'll switch everything off and we will go on what we all between us want to do, and what we want to experience. And they had such a wonderful day yesterday with my mum. That's opened them up even more to go, wow, there's more than this. There's more out there. And they've gone on the hovercraft and they've been out in the sea, and there's sand over at Hailing Island. So, you know, instead of what we have over here, they've gone, whoa, hang on a minute, out there, there's a beautiful, beautiful place. So, you know, I'm going through it just as we're all going through it. But don't think it's about mental health. It's about broken consciousness. We're either connected to source or we're not. If we're not connected to source, then we're going to have struggles and we're going to have battles. If we're living a debauchery world, the devil don't care, mate. If you don't work, you know, honour your mother and father, he don't care. It's when you do. It's when you live that righteous life. It's when you step in your true power. And they go, whoa, hang on a minute, this one's connected to source. We're going to do everything to battle. They will battle you from all sides. There is a spiritual war, whether you believe it or not. Just like why some people take certain trips and they see things in the realms around them, because there is more than just the 3D world that we live in right now. There is more than just our Prime Minister. And Boris Johnson is just more for the common people. In fact, if I stand under my great-grandfather's name, Boris Johnson doesn't even represent me, because I would stand in the Houses of Lords. You know, so, and it's all about bloodline. It's always been about bloodline. But in the middle of it, soldiers get killed. Yeah, that's it. Soldiers get injured. And we have nurses and doctors, and this has existed for a long time. And we have to humanise a bit more. We have to realise that bodies decay. Bodies don't foresee out the spiritual being. It's just a vessel. It's just a case. Yes, darling. My boys have got one body, and they have to be educated that they have one body. one of my old coaches said his father got him down to do 50 press-ups every day. Oh God, I've got to get under here a second. Oh, what's underneath there? It's my pen. Oh, just pull the chair out because I'm not. No, it hurts my neck. Just pull the chair out. Just pull the chair out. It hurts me too much. Right, have a look behind the chair. Quick, because the bed's held up by the chair. No, be quick because the bed is held up by the chair. I've got to pay to get. Have you got what you've got? Quick, quick, because I need to push it back. Shiloh, you're going to have to get out there, dude, because the chair holds the bed up. Right, have you got what you wanted? Quick, have you got what you wanted?
And that's got a biscuit under there.
Where?
To make it to the other side, he needs to jump when the wind speed is 16.
Oh my goodness, don't you hate it when you move a chair in your house and you see that there's so much crap underneath it? Right, come on, because I need to hide the crap quickly, otherwise I've got to clean it. Sunday, I'll do it Sunday. Cool. Yeah, so I'm overwhelmed myself at the moment. I'm going through dissonance myself. And a lot of it has to do with the final order that they said to take Aaron and Faith. And that was that I would place my children with the services in order to be able to meet my own career needs. Well, that's not true, because I built my career for my family to make sure that my family benefited from anything and anything that I did. I didn't want to go off travelling and put my children in an institution. I wanted my children to travel and explore with me. I remember my mum going to Rome, to Athens, to Athens to bowl for Great Britain. And if she hadn't have taken me with her, I would have never have had the experience that I had. So being an English girl who was 13 at the time, I think, walking around Athens on my own while my mum was training and looking at all the statues and doing what I wanted to do in the middle of them. My mum would give me some money, I could go and buy coffees, do whatever I wanted to do. And going and sitting and having tzatziki, and I decided I really didn't like the meats over there because I didn't want to eat them. But, you know, to have that experience, to meet Aviv, who was from Tel Aviv, who was an education in itself. So I didn't grow up with this cellular white supremacy. You know, racism was already challenged in my social circles already. You know, we had Robert, who was black, if you want to say that, who was in our classroom, who he didn't know his actual roots of where he was from. But at the end of the day, what I'm basically trying to say to you is this great reset is happening whether you're in control of your own life or not. And we, as the individuals of this world and this nation, have to be able to shake hands with everybody and go, look, you know, we're not at war with each other. We're not at war with each other. You know, I have an Iraqi man that lives next door to me. I have a Polish family. I have a Romanian family. I have a family from Jamaica, family from China, family from Korea. I live in a very, very multi-diverse country and certainly city. One thing I will give Portsmouth its credit for is it's certainly very multi-diverse. We have every nationality and culture here, pretty much. But still not to the point. You'll maybe see occasional Buddhists still in its robes. You'll see an army soldier, but people still have not found their own identity, their own expression. And I saw my cousin struggling on Facebook earlier on, and it's like, wow, you know, my cousin inspires me. My cousin has always been able to masterpiece draw, you know, paints the most wonderful Audrey Hepburn, has the most wonderful talents, expresses herself through her hair, and she'll try things, and you know, she has a successful career as a dentist. I wish I needed my teeth done. I definitely, and I probably would sit in a chair knowing my cousin was there. So it might be better to try and find a dentist when my cousin is. But you know, I just think that we all have these battles that we're going on, that we're so scared to tell people how we feel, just because not everybody gets it. And there are people that listen, there are people, and you know, and we shouldn't have to struggle in battles, whether it be medical or within our own mind, or whether it just be because our car has run out of battery or it's got a puncture. We shouldn't have to have money to make people do things. We shouldn't have to be about nobody not affording anything. It's all about in here. You know, at the end of the day, money, I haven't got any cash in my house, but money is just money. We here have got the Queen on ours there. You know, somebody else in another country will have the head of their state, or people that were inspiring in theirs, and it's just printed. It's all printed. It's just printed and made. It's what it means to you. It's what the fuck's 20p gonna do for me? It's not even going to get me in the toilets now, because I think even that's £1, not 20p. I can save up my 20p's. And yes, Jews save their pennies, because pennies make pounds. So yeah, that's all I've got to say today, really. I've just got to get on with things. I've just got to get on with my normal everyday stuff that's in a routine, while building my working time around it, making sure that I'm definitely getting at least an hour's time. I've got to get this laptop today. It's going to absolutely, I just can't go there in my head. It's what I need right now, and I'll deal with the rest later. And if I need to get to Cornwall, then I've always got £1 in my bank account to fill my tank to get to Cornwall. And I don't know. I mean, it's easier not being on benefits, because I can just make money as I go, where being on benefits, you know, as soon as you take money in, that's it. So I prefer being self-employed. I can take money in as and when then, and I can invest in anything that I want to do. So I need to try to make sure that I am the director of Step Up Britain, like literally this week. So yeah. Have I got any ideas? Someone just asked. Yes, plenty, absolutely plenty. It's about going in ourselves. It's about knowing who we are. It's about knowing what you love. It's about creating a lifestyle. And that comes in within your own activities and schedules. So if you want to climb, then climb. So you've got to build, you're going mountain climbing, how long that's going to take, what equipment that you need, how long that you'll be away for. And if you then got into a marriage with somebody and they went, oh, you're not going climbing because you're going to be away for 6 months. Tough shit. Because you go climbing. And you need to be with somebody that either goes climbing with you, that you meet either out there, and then you've got a bigger challenge that you do together, or that's what you do while they do something else, and never the twain should ever stop the other from doing what they came here to achieve, basically. We can't take our memories with us. We leave them here. We can only take, you know, I don't even know what we can take, because I've never experienced true death. I've experienced dying, but I have never experienced, obviously, crossing over or getting stuck. Hence why suicide, you know, I just believe that we get stuck in purgatory. And as long as I believe that, I can never commit suicide. Doesn't matter how big the battle gets, the belief system of where I go if I commit suicide is greater than the battle and challenge that I'm having here. And to give up an eternity, to return eternity for what, 50, 60, 70 years on earth, or get stuck in purgatory, or, you know, yeah, it's all about belief systems, isn't it? So ask yourself, what are your belief systems? I think Amber's just putting some of the things that I've been talking about down in the feeds. If you're over on YouTube, obviously, they should be in the columns for you to have that. And basically, like I say, do your own research. Do your own research. Just literally put in Agenda for Sustainability 2030. So then you will see the plan and structure right up to 2030, just like I do.